This video is not meant for children and is brought to you by support from Patreon. Hello, and welcome back. I am Maester Aelix, and this is Stellaris Empires. And we are right back where we left off here on the start screen, so let's start. Today is a special one. Not only am I, happy to give it Earth, but this particular one has been a thorn in my side as I was not sure how I wanted to do this. This origin is Prosperous Unification. We'll go into the details in just a minute, and I'll explain why it was such a challenge for me. First things first, Prosperous Unification was basically how the game started. When it first started, before all the DLCs and all stuff, this is how the game was more or less a default. Once they added origins, they made this an origin. Thanks to a few DLCs and a few smart choices, I have come up with something that's really rather nice. So first things first, I went with the basic human appearance. I didn't want to add anything cybernetic or strange, so basic human, and if you start off as a brand new game, more than likely this will be the default. We are humans, our gender is default, so a mix of all. Name list, I went with Humanoid 2, but I was very closely going to hit the humans CM. But with Human 2, I like because it's like Joint Expeditionary Fleet, Strategic Readiness Fleet, the Jello business. And this feels like how Earth would end up once we pull ourselves collectively and get out into space. Alright, now for the traits. The traits I selected are all about reducing penalties. This makes us go longer, harder, faster, stronger. Docile is empire size from pops. Communal is pop housing usage, which these two things will get just turbocharged later on. Conversationalist, consumer goods upkeep. That is more of a, because we can have more people and they take up less space, we're going to need more consumer pops, so reducing that is just further goodness. I also took psychological infertility. Pop growth during war and crises is down by 30%. By the time we get to big wars and big crises, it won't matter. We'll have our people. We will have lots and lots of people. Alright, I named the world Terra Firma. The star name is Helios. It is the Sol system, and we are on a continental world. This feels very Earth-like to me, don't you think so? I think so. City appearance, I went with humanoid cities, and it looks so nice. Origin is Prosperous Unification. Through its strife and triumphs, this society has reached every young civilization's ambition. A homeworld with a unified goals and a path to open to the stars. We have 4 additional pops to start. We have an additional generator district. We have an additional agricultural district. Planetary modifiers of Prosperous Unification, which is happiness, amenities, resources for 20 years. Good boost there. And Planetary Unification as a research option, which grants 12 months of Unity production plus Unity 5%. And additional edicts. So this gets us off to a really strong start, and we lean into the generators and agricultural right now. Main thing is we went agrarian ideal. A simple and peaceful life can often be the most rewarding. This agrarian society has, to a large extent, managed to avoid large-scale urbanization. Generator, mining, and agriculture districts provide more housing, so leaning into that. City districts provide 1 less housing, and that's fine. Every 4 agricultural districts grant 1 building slot, so more building slots. That's great. And farmers also produce amenities. That is so good. Like, you make food and amenities? And if we put a elder farmer in the council, we'll make even more food? Why, yes please. And we are masterful crafters. A penchant for meticulous crafting lies at the heart of this society. Deft appendages and keen sensory organs aid them in crafting truly wondrous treasures, even in the most basic of trades. Artisans are replaced with artificers. Artificers produce consumer goods, trade value, and every 3 industrial districts grants a building slot, except on habitats. Our Master Crafter position gives armor hit points 1%. Not that good, but the other effects are great. So, we can get more building slots. Our farmers do more. Our artisans do more. Wait, we don't really need this. We don't need city districts. We can do everything else. Industrial makes more. Agricultural makes more. Yes. And later in the game, when you get enough tech to get a 3rd civic, I am a fan of functional architecture. Building and district cost is minus 15%. Planetary build speed is up 15%. Building slots plus 1. And if we want to put the council position of planetary build speed plus 2%, we can. Though I still prefer the agrarian idle, but at that point we're probably making so much food. Functional architecture is really, really nice. I was very tempted to take out Masterful Crafters or Agrarian Ideal for functional architecture, but these two together is such a strong start, along with what we have in the Origin. Crazy good. Alright, going left, I went with Oligarchic, because the effective counselor skills are plus 2, our counselors gain experience, and our edicts fund is a little bit better. And it's, an election is every 20 years, so it doesn't bother me all the time. And I went with Fanatic Pacifists, because stability plus 10 and empire size from pops minus 30, because we will be growing our pops a little bit faster. Again, reduction of penalties, and Xenophobe, pop growth or assembly speed plus 10%. Now, if you want to do Pacifist and Fanatic Xenophobe, feel free. This is a what feels right to you kind of moment. I think the Fanatic Pacifist is better, but hey man, whatever you like. Our advisor voice is based off Pacifist.
Pacifist module failing. Your breathing is so loud. It's driving me insane. Initiating count to 10 protocol. 1, 2, 3. Not working. Reboot.
Haven't heard that one before, but that's actually quite funny. Alright, for our Empire name, we are the United Nations of Earth, or the UNE. And, if I really wanted to be like United Nations of Terra Firma, but UNTF, it doesn't quite roll off the tongue. For our flag, I went with human. I, of course, went with the globe and the United Nations looking thing, though that's more of a start at the North Pole, spread out kind of map, but this is the closest we had. I went with blue and white with a big white stripe because I think that looks sharp. It's a nice, clean, stand-up kind of thing. We went with the humanoid ships, and all of these are real nice. We got our colony ship, our science ship, which looks really cool. And these humanoid ones are very science fiction, roundy, smooth, refined. To me, it feels like people of peace. It really does. Alright, with our ruler appearance, I went with Phenotype 1, Hairstyle 2, Color Variant 3, and Clothing 4. Not that it was convenient to go 1, 2, 3, 4, it just kind of happened that way. Random name generator. And of course, when people click on us, here's what they hear.
Algorithm.
Thank you. Alright, and ruler trait, I gave us Spark of Genius because who doesn't want more research? I mean, it's only a little bit more, but it's percentage, so the more we give, the more we get, the more we get. And I know that's a tautology, but you know what I mean. Alright. So, let's get this game going, and I can give you a few tips and pointers. Prosperous Unification. In the eons since the first primitive human communities took shape in the meadows and the forests of terra firma, our civilization has spread and prospered. Unfortunately, our undisciplined minds were still prone to emotional outbursts. that could sometimes lead to violence. As weapons become more deadly with each passing technological age, a complex system of government was devised to protect our citizens from harmful elements, including themselves. Now, after the discovery of the Hyperlane Network, the finest minds of the United Nations of Earth have finished development of their first hyperdrives. The stars themselves are finally within our grasp. Wasn't that nice? Alright. So, since this group has no particular leaning towards any particular technology or any especially focused traditions, the what you want to do is wide open. These guys are very open to just about anything. Alright, so one thing we're going to want to try to get rid of as soon as we can are these blockers, because even though we can make more districts, more planet slots, it's not necessarily the easiest thing. Though, agriculture districts already have 5, so that's really good. And 2 industrial, so we'll probably want to, once we can, get that 3rd one to get us an additional land space. Now, that being said, and speaking of traditions, one thing I would definitely want to do is go for the Ascension perk that bases itself around terraforming. That one gives you more land slots, making all of your planets even better. And to get there, expansion works great, because you're going to be doing better with any planet that you do take over. And of course, there's going to be those 2 guaranteed habitable worlds right off the top. However, there's a lot of options out there, so feel free to do as you wish. This is a wide open, very forgiving group, and there is no reason you can't just pick anything you like and run with it. There is nothing precluding these guys from anything other than stuff that's normally precluded to stop. You can't do activism or domestication or the 4 later ones, cybernetics, genetics, ionics, and synthetics, because those are normally locked behind stuff. But really, whatever you feel is good, go with it. Now, I'm going to go expansion.
Council agenda available.
There we go, and just keep going with it. There's no reason why we can't just spread wide and enjoy ourselves. Terra firma.
Council agenda ready.
Now, that being said, since everything is so open, feel free. The whole point of this build was to be forgiving. I wouldn't say this is a beginner build, but second playthrough kind of build, where you know what you're doing, but you can also get a little bit more going, because that's how that works. So, up to you, and feel free to go wide. I know this is a really short video, and directions are not exactly, sharp, but this isn't like, oh hey, we're going to do a super techno build, we're going for mega engineering super fast, or psychic all the way, go for the shroud. No, this, and even the origin is basically, yeah, for the first 20 years you're extra good. That they give us a strong start.
Situation log updated.
That's the thing about Stellaris. You get yourself a strong start and you can snowball super hard. So feel free to just snowball your brains out when it comes to this. This is a good, powerful start. It just doesn't look like it at the start. And once you start expanding and getting into those slots, these Agrarian Ideal and Masterful Crafter civics will be so good. You will enjoy yourself quite a bit. So, take your time, have yourself some fun, and enjoy the freedom of the open road, as it were. I certainly do with this one. This is one of the ones I like, I don't want to really think about it too hard. I'll do as I feel. no major plans, just go off your gut. And that can be real fun sometimes. So here's where I'm going to say thank you all for joining me. I really hope you're enjoying this series as much as I'm enjoying making it for all of you. If you do, you know what to do, and that's to like, comment, and of course watch 3 or 4 more of these videos to really show the algorithm that you like it. And share these videos around. Oh, and of course subscribe. It's a little click for you, but a really big deal for me, and I greatly appreciate everyone who does. And speaking of people I appreciate, if you check out the links down below, there's a link to my Patreon campaign. All of my patrons will have their names set at the end of the video, which the time for is now. Thank you all for joining me, and I shall see you all on the next one. And I'd like to give a special shout out to all my patrons who help make these videos possible. Aaron Smith, Brian Pelfrey, Chris Armstrong, Dennis Detman, Harry Thompson, and Mark Milius. Thank you all so much for your contributions. I wouldn't have this channel without you. Thank you very much.